Good morning, you two. How are you doing today?
We're amazing. How are you?
Ooh, I love words like that. Oh my God. When someone says they're amazing, that means they live it, they walk it, they activate it, and they share it. Oh man, that's a beautiful word.
Yes, we are extraordinary too. In addition to being amazing, we are extraordinary.
I mean, our book has its birthday today, so we're like,
Yay.
we're buzzing. I could not sleep last night. I was just like, oh, it comes out tomorrow. It comes out tomorrow. And tomorrow is today, Arrow. So we're so happy to be here. And thank you so much for having us.
Don't you love that moment when you release something that you've created? Because so many people are afraid. I mean, they write, but they don't want to release it. They don't realize that there's a connection to the rest of the universe when creativity is moving through you. And this is a great example of how you're going to change people's lives.
Oh, wow. Well, it is received. Thank you so much for that. And especially in the times we're living in now, we were, mindful of the world is a heavy place right now. And both for adults and for children, especially, that there's so much imagery and videos and things we can't control and see. But we really just wanted to add some joy and love and be of service to kids. That's why we write children's books, just to add ordinary little moments in extraordinary way. And, when you have a kid and you have them in bed and you're reading a book and there's nothing else between you except that one moment. And we're just so grateful that our book get to be that today.
That is so interesting that you talked about that, because on iHeartRadio this morning, I brought up the very subject. How do we get back to that place and where you do have that moment of connectedness and mindfulness and gratefulness? And it's like, and that was my story today, was that we got to get back to that place. And then here you are talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, there is really not much you can do in the world when you just feel hopeless. Like you want to contribute, and how can you contribute? And Charnaie and I were both writers. Charnaie is this amazing diversity expert who I am just like blown away, wanted to work with me. I'm like, what? You want to work with me? Oh my God, but it's just that, you do what you can with what you have. And I think a moment of just stillness and hugs and love and sharing a book. I mean, it's such a small sacred act that is universal. And I think that's all we can do, right? Like protect our kids when we can. And childhood only happens once. You never get a do-over. Yeah. And I think as an adult, we tend to forget, like, oh, we brush it off, but our daughters wouldn't leave the house unless they were overdressed and they had jewelry and they have hats and they have a pack of stuffed animals. And now my daughter's in college, and looking back at that, I knew they were ordinary moments, but they were extraordinary now that you look back at that. So
I can so relate with this book, because I think I'm like the adult version of Etta, in the way that I too had a talent show that it was at Billings Senior High School. I was in a garage band and we were going to win this talent show. We sucked. We were so bad. But the thing about it was horrible. But the principal came up to us afterwards and he says, you had the courage and the confidence to step out there. Okay, so you win. It wasn't about that you had to be the best band. You did it.
Absolutely. And that's what this is about too, right? It's about Etta overcoming the anxiety that she's feeling and the butterflies, and just really like learning and knowing and having that confidence in herself that, yes, I can do this. I've never performed on a big stage in front of a large audience before, but I am extraordinary. I can do this. I have the confidence. I can overcome this anxiety that I'm feeling and just go out and do it.
Yeah. Do you use your words in the way of, because for instance, like when we started off with amazing, we have the word extraordinary, another big powerful word, phenomenal, and how about fantastic? I think words that we choose to use will really, they get inside of us, and then all of a sudden we start to glow with that positive feeling.
I love that, Arrow. And it's so true, because nothing's more powerful than the words you use and talk about yourself, right? And kids use big words, like small words with big meaning. But, she recognizes that she needs a plan and she needs to figure it out. And she just has the room to grow and be. And I think as parents, that's all we can do, is just hold space for our kids to create and to grow and to try and fail, because they're not afraid of trying and failing. We as adults are terrified, but so we're trying to be more like Etta. Basically, all of us are Etta, all of us are extraordinary, and we forget. And Arrow, thank you so much for sharing that story. I mean, that was awesome that you guys did that. That was brave too. And Etta is also brave.
Well, the fact that you guys are sharing this series, that means we get to talk many, many times in the future because I love growing with you.
Really? Yes. To come back. That's so nice.
Yes. Maybe as soon as next year. I don't know, when there's a big event that happens once every 4 years.
Leap
in a White House. Are we hinting about the next book already? Yes. That's where we are in 4 years, but it's not 4 years.
It's next year. It comes out next year.
We don't have that one all figured out yet, but
right.
Yeah. But Arrow, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What was your favorite book growing up or as a kid?
Mike Mulligan and the Steam Shovel.
Oh, good one.
Oh, it's a great one.
Because he didn't stop. He didn't quit. He became a part of. And I always saw that as being that he still took care of his community, even though that he became a part of that large building and he couldn't get out of that gigantic hole. And we all face those gigantic holes. Now, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to grow with my community.
Yes. Amen.
Love that.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Well, you got to come back to this show
really
anytime in the future.
Thank you.
Oh, we would love to.
Love to. We really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much for spreading so much joy and love through the radio. We really appreciate you.
Oh, I love your hearts. You be brilliant today, okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Be extraordinary.
Yes.
Be extraordinary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.